Hello, FewCandy here, and welcome back to Fewnilla County. And yes, I've come back from holiday with a cold, so that's why I sound a bit strange today, but we're still recording, we're still getting on with it. And last time we put in our campus, but actually looking at Fewnilla County and our RCI demands, we're really balanced at the moment. We've also got 17.5 million in the bank, a nice load of cash there, and almost 22,000 population. So I'm kind of thinking it's time for an airport. I really want to put that in before we put in things like our stadium, which is going to go down here, particularly our downtown, because all those skyscrapers are going to be unique buildings, and any other kind of touristy entertainment type builds, because we really don't have any of those at the moment. And the only international transport option that we do have is our intercity bus station over here, which is very busy indeed. There's no regular buses coming into this, so this is all intercity traffic out this way. So I think an airport and actually bringing in an external rail line, because of course we've got our intercity rail line over here as well, is really going to help out Fewnilla County. So the plan, as you know, is to do it over in this area over here, so it's not a particularly big space. So we're going to be putting in a regional style airport into the city here. Obviously it's going to have intercity flights, but that's the kind of style that we're going to go for. And what I'd really like to take inspiration from is actually Southampton Airport in the UK. So if we take a little look at Southampton Airport, this is it, right on the outskirts of the city, and it's tiny, just single runway, some nice little pathways going around it. There is also the fuel depot over this side as well, so we can look to kind of recreate that. But the main thing I've really been looking at is the kind of size of it, but also the layout of this. So we've got a railway station here. We've got a roundabout over this side with a road that provides access to the airport and all of the car parking down here. And also this other road the other side, which provides access to the other side of the station and goes on through into another town actually. But I really like this little entranceway here, where it is just buses and taxis which come in and loop around the front of the terminal building. It's single story, very small. We can't actually recreate this kind of size and style of terminal building, but we are going to keep it very, very small indeed. I think it's something like 9 gates at Southampton. We probably won't even have that many, and I'm going to show you that actually you can have a flourishing airport without that many gates as well. You don't need to go OTT in City Skylines. And so we've got car parks opposite that, we've got hangars down this way, all open to this road which runs alongside it, and then obviously industrial over this side. So I think we'll probably try and put in a cargo airport here. We've got a lot of industry around the airport already, so I don't think we need any more necessarily, maybe a couple more little bits here and there. We've also got a Premier in there, so a nice little budget hotel, as it were, next to the airport. And we've got more parking as we come all the way down this way. Oh, and anyone looking for rail inspo, this is a very, very cool rail yard, and there's even houses in the middle of it. Interesting. But that is not what we're here to do today. We're here to look at the airport. So yeah, this is going to be our inspiration. It's not going to turn out looking anything like this, because I don't think this is possible in vanilla City Skylines. But we're going to be taking inspiration from certain little bits of it, particularly like here, where there's just a fence out onto the open airfield. You can kind of stand at the end and look right out onto the runway. Is pretty cool indeed. So the first thing I am going to do is, of course, draw in our airport area, and this will flatten out all of the land. So I'm pretty keen. I think I'm going to use the kind of height of the land from this road here. And this is, of course, going to produce some major terrain jank, which we'll worry about in a second. This also removes all of our trees for us as well, which is always, of course, very helpful indeed. And we're just going to push it right up to the edge over here. We'll sort out the rail line in a second, because of course we do need to remove that as well. Can't have that running straight through our airport. And like I said, we'll sort out all of the terrain jank and all that kind of stuff afterwards. But for now, let's just get our airport area in so that we can see what kind of space we are working with here. So yeah, that should do quite nicely, and thankfully it's pretty flat here. Like, we haven't got too much jank over here. We'll obviously sort out this edge and this edge as well. But let's also now delete out this rail line. Now we need to be careful because we can't go over this tile boundary, so it's going to be a really awkward connection, unfortunately, from this side. But let's just remove it for now. This is going to cause havoc with our cargo trains, which are obviously already coming in internationally, as it were. But that's okay. And we'll reconnect up the rail in a second afterwards, but let's for now just get in our airport. So, road connections. I want our kind of train station road to be quite a large collector road, which is going to run parallel to our Brick Lane bakery here, like that. And then we're going to come into the station. Now, I've actually been debating a lot what to use here, but I think if we go for metro and train hubs, which is ultimately metro and train, that one, not ships, is ultimately what we want. I think I'm actually just going to use the Sunset Harbour metro train hub for this, because I think it will be quite nice. So if we go like that, I want to make sure that we've got the metro, yes, on this side and the train on that side, only because our metro line is going to be coming in from here and the train line is going to head off into the downtown the other side. So ultimately it'll be easier if they don't cross. So we'll plop that in like that. And then we're going to back the airport road, so the one providing access to the airport, onto the other side of it. And I think we'll use one with a median here. We may upgrade it to grass afterwards. But let's, for now, get that in and try and get it as snug as we can against that rail. It would have been nicer, I suppose, to have the metro this side because it's a little bit more open, the platform, to the actual road there. But we'll put in some pedestrian bridges and provide access like that anyway. So this should be absolutely fine for now. So let's draw this up straight alongside it, and this is going to run the full length of the airport. So we'll just add it in like that. We'll worry about these road connections in just a second, but that will do for now. Then we want to create the entrance to the airport right here. So let's go ahead and find a bus road for this, and I think unfortunately it is, we could do bus only actually. That would be quite good. That's an expressway ramp. Do we have a one-way bus only? Maybe the pedestrian road actually would be good for this. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So we're going to bring it out just this side of it. And we'll draw it out like this. I want to make sure we've got enough room for our terminal building. And we're going to turn it around, obviously, the other side. So let's go back to airports now. Now, I'm actually going to use the classic style for this because it's a small airport. I'm thinking it's a little bit old and sort of run-down-ish. So that is what we're going to go for here. So we want to add this in. Of course, annoyingly, in vanilla, we're not going to be able to upgrade this road. So actually we can delete out the road we just put in, and then let's place this in instead. Let's go back to our bus roads and then we'll connect this in. So yeah, we do want just a very small little turnaround at the top here. So I'm going to see how small I can ultimately get it. And actually on Google Earth, it was a little bit wonky. So I don't think we need to be too kind of concerned with going a little bit wonky here. But we do want to have enough space for taxi ranks in between these two roads. So yeah, let's bring that out like this. Let's bring that out all the way to the top and then see if we can connect these in with a little curvy turnaround at the top here. Okay, like that will do. We'll grab our pedestrian path, and then yeah, we want a raised pathway that is going to take people to and from the car parks, across to the airport, and ultimately all the way through. So we are going to come across the road like this, and then we'll head down to the ground over this side, which will connect in nicely, and also over this side like that. And then we also want to bring in access through to our airport here. We can bring that down to here, and then they can cross over that zebra crossing there. And let's also, just for posterity's sake, can we fit in a little path underneath this? Okay, yes we can. So we can have those paths running underneath as well. I'm just thinking with the raised pathway, what might be quite nice is, let's have a little look at liberal arts. Yeah, with this red railing, I feel like that looks a lot nicer actually than just the generic concrete path. Let's go ahead and do that. Now this one apparently is too close. So let's try this again. We're going to have to turn off snap to angle annoyingly very, very slightly just to adjust this over to get that in like that, but that will work nicely. Then yeah, we've got this nice little red railing on the path, which is, yeah, a bit more interesting than just that bog standard vanilla, and kind of goes with the red actually on these car parking lots and also on the airport terminal as well, so quite enjoying that. Let's also get the access in down this way, and now this road, we are going to need to change this up just to create ourselves a zebra crossing here. So yeah, we could do it like that. I'm just wondering if we did a median on the entranceways, just stops car parking, then we still get our zebra crossing in. It does look a little bit strange. That one doesn't provide any zebra crossing. Yeah, that'll do. So that provides a pedestrian crossing for them to come back to the car parks that way as well. Okay, we do need to connect in water and power, so let's go ahead and do that now. So we've got water and power in, and let's now talk about our airport configuration. So yeah, like I said, this is going to be tiny. So we are just going to extend the terminal building slightly further up this way, just like that, just a little tiny bit. And then we're going to run this parallel up against this road this way. Now we're not going to go very far with this. We're literally just going to go, I think, something like that. And we'll obviously add in fence here so that it's nice and secure from the road. But this is already reasonably quite large, actually. I do want to add in our control tower as well, and I'm thinking like this little spot here would be really nice. We'll have this all fenced in around here, again, like I said, so it's open out onto the runway, out onto the airfield, so I think that'll be a cute little spot for it there. So if we take a look at airport stands now, I'd quite like some medium stands when we unlock them up here, but let's just for now actually add in a couple of small ones so that we've got them in, and then we'll add some more small ones along here. Now we want them quite close together, but not too close together, so we can still fit in our taxiways, because that's the other thing that we do need to consider and connect up here. And I did also notice, I'm going to test this, if we trim back the terminal building now, these don't complain. So I'm wondering if we can do that, just to make it just that tiny bit smaller. We'll see how we go with that. I'm not sure if that's going to work or not, so we'll keep our eye on it and see how we go. So let's then bring out our taxiway. So we're going to just connect all of these up. Let's turn on guidelines for this, and we'll just make this into a nice square coming up here. And of course, they're all one way, so we do need to bear that in mind. And then we're going to start heading out this way. Now, I do also want to make sure if we go into our decorative buildings that we can fit in some hangars and some decorative planes here, which we can't there. So let's bring this out just a little bit further. And I think we can actually plop these in, yeah, using a little bit of freeform here, that we can see how much space we do need. So yeah, it's probably about like that is what we're going to need here. So let's just drop in another hangar here as well so we can see what that looks like. Let's bring up our taxiway. Of course, now we're going to have issues with nodes. And yeah, if you are having trouble with your taxiways, just redraw them in. And that will really help, because you just can't connect in anywhere where there's not a node or where it doesn't want you to connect. So it's incredibly irritating, like right now, when you can't get it in exactly how you want it. So yeah, that will work really nicely for that. We're going to run this up this way, and then this is going to head on into the runway. So I do want this parallel to this road here. So let's actually just bring it on a little bit further. We can use our road guidelines for this. And I don't want it very far away, really. So I'm thinking something like that, away from the taxiway, would be good here. And we can snap that into the guidelines and build that like so. And then we just need to connect in taxiways. So yeah, again, you can see it doesn't like that because we're not on the right bit of our taxiway there. So we'll just draw it in this way, and then let's turn this around so that they're going into the bottom of the runway this side. Then we also need to draw in and out this side. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I am actually going to extend this up to that guideline like so, and then we'll flip this all around. Of course, then we do also need to bring in access down here. And I'm thinking we'll go for a slightly more interesting look to this. And let's bring in a slight angle here. So now you can see we're completing that one-way loop. So we're coming off the end of the runway, down, in, through, past all of our airplane gates, and then off along this way and up, connecting back to the runway like so. Now if we just measure this out, 1170, so about here, if we just put in a little terminal here, let's grab our gates again. And can we place these up alongside it? Yes, we can. So I am just going to add in a couple more here for decoration and then delete out that terminal so that we can see them nicely on our runway. And actually, I'm thinking what I might do. Yeah, we've got planes leaving from them, so they do actually function, do they? I've never seen this before. This is the first time I've actually tried it out. Let's just try this at the end here where people are going to be plane watching. We'll go 117 and we'll draw this across. Okay, we can't go the full way. That's absolutely fine. Let's get in our little gates here. Okay, so that's worked there. That's worked there. Let's get rid of this terminal building. I think we will get rid of these gates here. And then we've got gates right by our little viewing area, which I really, really, really like indeed. And then we can go back and we can add the hangars in next to this as well. I've added a couple of hangars here. We're also going to want some decorative planes too. So let's make sure that we have got a few of those. We could potentially up here. And also with these planes, don't forget that you can actually, you don't have to put them perfectly straight and lined up against a taxiway. So we're going to just make this at a slight angle. Just for a little bit of interest, we can tidy up these concrete edges with a bit of surface paint afterwards as well. Let's try a different type of plane next to this. Just like that. Yeah, this is starting to come together here. The next thing we do need to be aware of is levelling it up. So attractiveness score, we need a bit more attractiveness and we need a lot more passengers. So let's just work on the attractiveness first of all. Now we can add in a budget airport hotel, which I would like to do. I'm going to place this here for now. We may move it when we add in these road connections. But we'll add that in there for now, like our little Premier Inn that we saw on Google Earth. And let's add in a couple more planes. Now we're going to want to spam these, honestly, to get the level up at first. Which is, you know, kind of annoying in some ways, but because it makes it look a bit rubbish. But we'll tidy everything up at the end and make it look exactly how we want to without having to worry about that attractiveness score. Let's have 3 putt planes, why not? So we'll leave those like that for now. That should be enough attractiveness score, I would have thought. Yes, so we just need to wait for those passengers now. So having just left it running a little bit, we have now leveled up to level 2, which is great news. We've got things like the airport lounge, medium aircraft stand, which is great news as well. Medium park planes, the aviation fuel station as well, which we definitely want to use. And then some of the larger terminal buildings, which we won't be using for this airport here. And also I can confirm, like this one is definitely active. We haven't had any active flights on these, so I'm thinking they probably do need to be connected to a concourse to be functional. But it's not the end of the world. Like, I'm really liking the aesthetic of particularly these two. When we've got our detailing in, when we've got our fencing looking out onto the airfield next to this, like, prop detailing here because of these gates, it's going to be pretty cool. So I'm not too concerned about that. But I definitely do want to upgrade to some medium aircraft stands in here. So we are actually just going to, unfortunately, delete all these two, which have got active flights. Oops. And we're going to add in our medium aircraft stands over this side. So we'll go right to pretty much the end with this one. We'll add in 2 like that just there. And then we can just connect in the taxiways back up. Now, of course, this one's not connecting, so let's delete these out. We'll go up like this to our guideline, and then we can connect those in nicely. Now we've already got a medium plane here as well, which is very exciting indeed. Now these ones would not work without the concourse because they've got those little kind of tunnel things that look very strange, but the small aircraft stands definitely work, I think. So we need a massive amount of attractiveness score and a load more passengers in order to level this up. So I think let's go for attractiveness first. Now we have got the airport lounge. I definitely want to add in a couple of these. I'm thinking 2 of these like this, overlooking the airfield there. And then if we go to our airport aprons, of course, let's completely cover up this area with concrete like that. That's nice and smooth and kind of, yeah, detailed in there. We can also go back to our prop planes. Can we fit in a medium one in here? I want it on a slight angle, to be honest. Yeah, we can. There is a sweet spot. There we go. Yeah, let's definitely have one of those there. I'm not so sure on the snot green colour, but that'll do. And then let's continue to add in a few more as decoration up here as well. We've also got the large hangar. Yes, we do. So let's definitely add in a couple of these where we can. Potentially another hangar over here wouldn't go amiss. Next to another parked plane. And again, what we can do is just tidy these up with our airport aprons. These are just an absolute godsend from that update. They really are. If we come back to here, we do also have the luxury airport hotel, which we could definitely add in. I think it may be somewhere up this way. They would have good views out over the airport from here. So yeah, we could put it in there. Let's give it a bit more of an entrance though. I think would be quite nice for this. Let's turn on all of our snapping. We'll come out just by 2 blocks like so. And let's go back and grab our hotel and sit that in there. So yeah, that does go in quite nicely there. And then let's also see if we can get in some more car parks over this side too. I'm thinking like some of the more flat ones. Yeah, like this. We back those all onto each other. Let's obviously trim off that road and do just our nice little neatening trick, getting that right to the end of the concrete there as access. Let's also take off parking on that road as well. And then we could probably, yeah, add in a couple more down this side and maybe even some around the back of the hotel. Let's just come, yeah, down the side of the car park really nicely there, because that'll frame that well. And we could do some nice detailing, I think, around the back of the hotel this side. Then that adds in quite an expanse of car parking down this side of the airport, which I think is quite a nice little touch. Now, we do also have the aviation fuel station. Now, this was over this side, actually, at Southampton Airport, so I'm kind of tempted to put it out there. We do need connections for it, though. Which, yeah, could be interesting to get. So I'm wondering if actually maybe somewhere over this side would be better suited for it. We can, of course, add in concrete path decorations, though, for this, which was very much actually how it was in Southampton. It wasn't really based up against like a massive taxiway. That fuel station, it literally does have paths around it. I've been having a look at it again, and yeah, this is just the case for it. So let's move this slightly further over, just so it's up next to that path, like that. It seems to be happy enough being sat here, though, which I think is the most important thing here. Yeah, let's just add a small path out the front just to bulk that out. Yeah, we can do a bit of nice detailing around that just to help that sit in a little better. But as well, when it comes to detailing, using these paths, especially at night, can really help to kind of frame things and make things look a little bit more interesting. Definitely not like that. We want nice, neat, straight lines for an airport for sure. But yeah, we can add in a few of these just to kind of give some slight more interest to our airport. Different little patterns like this. We could even cross over here like this is a sort of access point area. Something along these lines. Oh, we got a helicopter coming in right over the runway. That just helps to give a little bit more interest to our airport without kind of overdoing it on the taxiways, I think. So yeah, I like the use of pathways within airports in particular. Let's bring in a couple more of these over here. Okay, so let's check attractiveness. We've got problems with garbage here as well, so we do need to fix that. We're still way off it, so what I am going to do now is absolutely spam down all of these planes. So they're not going to stay here, but we're going to get a load of them in. A load of small planes as well, just so we can get up to that level 3, because I'm really keen to put in a cargo airport today as well. So with that spamming, we do have the attractiveness score needed to get to a level 3, and then we'll be able to start making money as well from our airport, although we're not doing too bad. We've lost 700,000 over the course of building this airport so far. And we've got planes coming in and out, so the passenger count is going up nicely. But just to help that out, what I will do now is connect in the public transit. So we'll bring the intercity rail line down and connect into this station. We'll also bring in a bypass round to connect back up to here so the cargo trains can stay happy. We'll connect the metro up to our metro line coming in here as well, which should help bring a lot of people from Tyler, from our main Tyler transport hub down here, out to the airport. And obviously people from the airport back into the main city as well. And then I'll also go ahead and just connect up these roads, and then we'll come back hopefully when we've got level 3 and we'll add in our cargo airport. Okay, so we've reached level 3 and there are an absolute ton of people using our walkway bridge here, which is just immensely satisfying, getting to and from the metro mainly, actually, out to the airport. So I'm assuming that's tourists leaving the city, hopefully not citizens. And we also got international trains coming in here now as well. They're few and far between, but they are there. So that is all nicely connected up, and we will have internal trains coming in from the downtown as well from this side. So international passengers will either be able to go into this station or off into the downtown this way. So obviously we'll do that when we come to unlock these tiles here. I have also added in this little junction over this side too. It's not the best, I'll be honest, but it's functional at least. It's not the neatest, but it works. And looks quite nice as well with the metro flowing over it, and obviously the trolley buses as well on this little bridge here, just spelling that up and over. I don't like this piece of road, so we'll need to come in and do something with this area at a later date. I've also plopped in a solar power plant just off camera because we were running out of power. But everything seems to be working quite nicely. We have got passengers coming and going from all of these different lots. Now these I can see passengers are being serviced from this. It's not very many. Like if we look at these, we've got, okay, 2 active flights. Okay, well there's 101 passengers on this. I don't know why it's saying 2. But these do actually seem to be functional, which is super cool to see. We have got a bit of a queue of planes coming in. But yeah, that should hopefully go with time. And then of course we sorted out our networks this side. Now the rail looks awful right now. We're going to need to come in and do a rail overhaul, put in some proper junctions around here, which we'll do at a later date, but for now it's kind of working and functional. Actually, we've had 8,000 passengers. We can now monetize our airline, which is very exciting. So that's the first thing we're going to do, and then we're going to come on to the cargo airport as well. But the airline headquarters building, this is what will help us monetize our airport. Now, I kind of would quite like to probably put this somewhere in the downtown, but for now we're going to put it, I think, on the outskirts of our airport over this side. I'm thinking tagged onto the end of it, like here, but it definitely calls for some kind of like grand entrance, I think, for this building. So let's bring out a road like this, go back in and find it. And let's just take a little look at the asset because it's beautiful. Actually, this is one of my favourite buildings in the entire thing. Let's grab this road. I just want to check that we can actually squeeze this up the side of it, which we can't from here, so we may just need to adjust back this road. And now we should be able to squeeze this in, I think, around the back here. It's very tight to that rail line, but that's okay. It does work because then we can add some service buildings up the back here as well. Like I'm pretty keen to have some police and fire around the airport, so that can definitely be a good place for that, but we'll come back to that in the detailing time lapse. I think that sits in pretty nicely. Now we are going to need a name for our airline and also for our airport, so please let me know your suggestions for that. We've got projected ticket income of 5,600 at the moment. Let's just click on our airport. Our expenses are 8,600. So let's maybe just adjust this up a little bit. See if we can get to that sweet spot, make a little bit of money. So 9,000, that would be making a little bit of money for us. So yeah, we could go for that. We also need to pick a symbol as well. So let me know your thoughts on the name for the airline and also for the airport, and what symbol we should use, what colour we should use as well. Like what colour do we want our airport for? Fewcandy County. We want some pink planes. FewCandy pink, that's what we did in Oregon. We could go for something a little bit more green. Maybe even light blue actually is quite, oh, dark blue. Dark blue would be, or purple. Well, let me know what you think for this and we'll change that on the next episode. And just thinking of little updates as well, I do just want to head back over here to our rail yard because, wonderful news, this asset has finally spawned in. So we've done it. We've done it. I think it's only taken 3-4 episodes to get it in. A constant deleting it and replacing it, but it is now in. So that's good news indeed. So yeah, we'll keep our eye on that. Obviously, when we put up the price, it does alter the attractiveness score. So we want to make sure that we're keeping this up nicely. Yeah, so this is actually dipped below, so we probably want to adjust that. And we are actually making a bit of money. That's pretty exciting. So let's come on to the cargo airport before we get onto a bit of detailing. And of course, we need the main terminal building for it. And what I'm thinking is I'm going to add it like almost right up against this taxiway so that the stands can connect into it. So then we can plop in a few more of these. And let's just delete out the taxiways either side. Because then as well, they're just nicely sitting on the taxiway. We don't need to worry about adding in additional routes because of the whole one-way system. This will just work really nicely for us with what we've already put in. So let's continue to rebuild those. And we can click play again. Hopefully the plays won't mess up. So yeah, so now we've got our nice cargo terminals up against the road there. So now in addition to the cargo airport, I would also like to add in the cargo airport rail hub as well. So let's just extend out this road here. We can add in our rail line this side, and then let's grab this road and we'll just extend this on out behind it like so. Now in terms of coming into it, I would quite like a toll booth, to be honest, but I don't know if we've really got enough room here, unfortunately, for that. So we could add it almost directly onto there, and then can we add this in nicely there? It's a little, it's a little bit janky. Let's just try that again. So we can actually snap it directly into the roundabout there. Then we could bring this up like so, which is not too bad. I'm wondering actually maybe we change this to an industrial 4-lane. Would that sort of blend in quite nicely with the colour of the toll booth? It would. So that sort of acts as you're going into a heavily industrial area. Yeah, I like that. And then of course we want to connect in the rail line. Now what I'm thinking, and a lot of you said, is that you'd really like to see this functional. And so would I, frankly. So let's do it. Let's do it. So we're going to bend this out around this highway to follow this connection here. We'll bring it out like this. And then we're going to bend it in round over the top. Now these are not like the most ideal train connections, I will fully admit. But it'll work. It'll work for what we need. And then we can just connect in this second line like so. Now, in order for trains to kind of turn around on this, we do also want to create another connection out this side. And this is where I said, like, we're going to come back to all this train mess because this is just, frankly, unacceptable. So if we connect this in this way, what it means is trains coming from this way can cross over here, go out onto this one, round and into this terminal. So what we need to do is now connect up trains coming from this direction. So we can just add in another small little point like this. And again, this is so not ideal because they're all way too close to the node. So we will sort this out at a later date. We're going to have a major train intersection over here, which we'll put into a dedicated episode on trains, I think, for that. But for now, that will do. So now we do still have the Airport Aviation Museum, which I really, really am quite desperate to add in. It's just a matter of where on earth we have the space for this, honestly. Now we can actually fit it in here. Like, this junction is definitely not ideal, and let's certainly go to junctions here and start turning off traffic lights, because we don't want all of these for sure. Definitely not here or here. I think we'll keep this one on because that's quite a major junction there. I think we are good elsewhere. But yeah, then what we do get is when you're coming along the ring road, you get these planes, which is really why I wanted those really prominent and in view. And then it sits just outside the airport as well, which I quite like, with its own dedicated entrance. We could really do with some parking around it. So I don't know if we can squeeze in a couple of little car parks in here. We can just fit a big one, actually. So maybe we do that, and then a lot of detailing obviously needed around that to help that blend in, and try not to connect it up to the cargo section there too. But yeah, that is in general the shape of our airport. So what we do need to do now is obviously come in with a hell of a lot of detailing around it. And thankfully, actually, because it's an airfield, a lot of this will be kept open. So it's just about tidying this up. We obviously want to go around and tidy up our hangars and make this all nice. Put fencing in around the kind of viewing areas for guests, finish off the hotel, a little bit of detailing around the train tracks and a few extra industrial buildings and offices and such like around the airport around this side. So there we go, Fewcandy County does now have an airport and a cargo airport in it as well, and like if we just have a look at the city footprint, it's looking pretty cool. The airport is massive, but actually it has just about fitted into this space really nicely. Obviously a small airport, but we're serving a lot of passengers, and yes, these are completely fully functional, so I did actually trim this back a little bit. You can see these planes as well, if we just click on them. They've got passengers on, planes are landing here, they're taking off here. All of these are fully functional. So that is a marvellous, marvellous trick if you want to create a kind of small, very small terminal regional airport such as this one. So yeah, really pleased with that. I did also, let's just talk about trains, sort this out. So these are now not connected. So any train coming from this direction has to go into this platform, and anyone from this direction does have to go through our rail yard and into this platform, and they are actually doing that. So there are occasionally trains going through there, and also I know someone mentioned last episode that trains were not using this one now. That's actually not the case. I have seen trains coming and going from this. They don't seem to use this straight on line. I haven't seen anyone using this, but they do use the diagonal turn in, so obviously make sure you put those both connected in, but yeah, still a useful trick. And yeah, here we go, we have got a train now that is going to flow through our rail yard there, so yeah. Oh, there's another one going actually this way as well. So yeah, it's really, really nice to see this little section in use, even if it is only just one of those lines. But yeah, we still get trains going through there, so super duper pleased with that. And actually, the way the planes are taking off as well, this runway has actually worked out quite nicely because they're not turning super, super sharply when they come in. Here's one taking off actually now. We can watch this there. Well, that one's turned a little bit. But they're not doing some of those crazy, crazy manoeuvres that you see sometimes. They're kind of going off reasonably smoothly into the Fewcandy County skyline. Yeah, it's not that immediate sudden turn, so it is quite nice. The planes flying in, though, do go pretty low over this mountain, which is a little bit sketchy, but they've still got clearance. Like, I wonder if we've got a plane coming in at all. No, not right now. But yeah, it'll be a fun ride into the airport, to say the least. But yeah, let's just go over what we did. So I did add in a service area as mentioned down here, just with a little bit of recycling service, a police helicopter depot, as well as a big police station, big fire station, and a very small medical clinic just on this corner here. So that all kind of works out pretty nicely, I think. Oh, here we go. We've got a plane. Oh no, wait, are they coming? Yeah, see, they're doing a weird twirly thing to get into the airport. Let's just have a look. You can see this clearance over the mountain. Oof. It's quite a steep slope down into the airport, but it does work. It does work. So yeah, if we go back over here, we have got obviously our airline headquarters, which I think is fitted in quite nicely. Nice little bit of fence and path decoration around it, and a pathway through to the service area through the back here, so anyone could access these car parks and get round. We've got a nice load of cars in the car parks as well. Again, just a little bit of fence detailing around this, particularly around the rail line as well, if we come down to street level. And I think my favourite thing is just the amount of people that are walking over this bridge. Actually, it's a bit quieter than it has been at the moment, but there's just a constant flow of people to and from the car parks to the airport and across to the station as well. We just had a metro come in, so we might see a flood of people. We just speed it up for a second. Now they're all going off in the other direction. Oh, here we go. Here's the train lot coming in and going over the bridge. So yeah, it's immensely satisfying watching all of this walking around the airport. I really, really love it. And then out the front, we have just added in, of course, some airport aprons just to concrete over this area. Just lots of little waiting areas, as if people are waiting for the taxis or their pickup, etc. outside the front of the airport. And then down here, I added in a little statue with a few benches so people could sit and watch these planes coming and going. And I'm absolutely loving this view here. Out, because you can see the runway through the back there and out onto these little plane gates actually here. Here's a plane coming through. This will be a very satisfying place to sit, I think, particularly with the little control tower in the front there as well. I think it actually works quite nicely. And then if we come on down to this area, we have put in a little bit of offices and a little bit of commercial on the corner here, just to provide some shops and services to people at the airport. I've also added in a budget hotel, although it's not like, I think the popularity rating is only 40%, so it's not doing too well. It's obviously got the offices in, but the commercial's apparently too far away to service it, so I'm not really too worried about that. I think it sits in quite nicely altogether. And if we come down here as well, I've done just a little airport viewing area here as well with a small car park and a few picnic benches. So you can look out right over the airfield here, which I think, again, is a really marvellous view, particularly as we've got these gates which are functional sitting right here. It's quite exciting to watch. Added another fuel depot, a few like standing planes, just reorganised these, and then coming over to the cargo airport area, added in a ton of warehouses and the postal service depot out here. So this all kind of sits in together, I think, quite nicely. A few little rocks and overgrowth in the middle here. Again, with some more warehouses, which actually I'm spotting we could do with another airport apron in here, just to finish off that bit of concrete there. Marvellous, marvellous addition to the game they are. And of course we've got our toll booth coming in, all fenced in around to the rail area out here as well. Just added in a couple more hangars and a prop cargo plane here. So we've only got those 4 gates for the cargo planes, but that seems to be plenty. And I think this bit's worked out pretty nicely over here as well, with these 2 parked planes and a fuel depot, just along with some path detailing. A few little bushes dotted along the runway, obviously keeping that very open from trees. We don't want any of that in here. But yeah, all in all, really super pleased with how it's working. We haven't got a backup of plane traffic at all. And if we go to the area info, we're not making money right now, but we have had a load of passengers. It does fluctuate. Our money is going back up, so we did go back down to 15.5. So it's cost Fewcandy County 2 million to put in this massive airport, which doesn't seem like enough, frankly. But yeah, we are making a decent amount of money, so it's not affecting us too much. And you can make quite a lot of money actually from an airport if you set that ticket price right. Yeah, really pleased with how it's set in. And again, the aviation museum as well, just coming off here by the ring road, looks super cool with those planes as you start to head in towards the airport. You can see the little tower over the top there with the budget hotel. Really enjoying this area quite a lot. For just a very small regional airport, I think it's worked. And of course, all of this is using the Airports DLC. If you haven't got that, please do go and check out my instant gaming link in the description below. You can find all the City Skylines DLCs at huge discounts, as well as a whole host of other games, and it also helps to support the channel. But for today, that is going to be it. So if you have enjoyed the episode, likes, comments and shares are really greatly appreciated. And of course, do let me know your name suggestions in the comments below for both the airline and for the airport itself as well. We'd love to take one of your suggestions on that. But that's all from me for now. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye bye.